I pulled my son out of the school my mother enrolled him in behind my back. My son Danny is 8, and for the last 2 years, he's been at the little public elementary 3 blocks from our apartment. He likes it, his best friend is there, his teacher gets him, and he doesn't cry on Sunday nights anymore, which he used to do at his old school. My mother has never approved of any of it. She thinks public school is where children go to become common. She went to some private academies 60 years ago and never stopped bringing it up. When Danny was born, she offered to pay for a proper education, and I said no. I've said no about a dozen times since. I thought that was the end of it. Here's the part that matters. In September, I let my mother pick Danny up from school on Wednesdays because I work late. Just Wednesdays. She'd get him, feed him, and I'd collect him around 7 p.m. It felt like a nice thing. My kid loves his grandma, and I trusted her. So last Tuesday, I got a call from Danny's school. The front office lady, Mrs. Okafor, sounded confused. She said, "We just wanted to confirm, is Danny finishing the year with us, or is his last day Friday?" I said, "What are you talking about? He's not going anywhere." There was a pause. She said someone had submitted a records transfer request to St. Bede's Academy, signed by a parent or guardian. I honestly thought it was a mistake, a mix-up with another kid. I laughed and said so. Then she read me the name on the form, and it was my mother's. I drove to my mom's that night. Danny was already asleep in the guest room. She was at the kitchen table like she'd been waiting for me. I said, "You enrolled Danny at St. Bede's." She didn't even flinch. She said, "I enrolled him in a school that will actually serve him. You should be thanking me." I asked how. "How do you enroll a child who isn't yours?" She told me she'd used the Wednesday pickups to take him for a tour and an assessment, that she'd told the admissions office she was his primary caregiver, that she'd paid the deposit and the first term already, thousands of dollars. She said it like it settled the argument. I said, "You lied to a school. You forged a transfer on my son." She said, "I signed as his grandmother, which I am, and I did it because I knew you'd say no out of pride. One day he'll understand I was the only adult in his life thinking about his future." That's when it clicked. The Wednesdays weren't dinner. They were the plan. I didn't yell. I said, "Get his shoes." She said he was sleeping. I said I didn't care. I woke Danny up myself, put his coat on, and carried him to the car. My mother followed me out saying I was being dramatic, that I was punishing a child to win a fight with her. The next morning, I called St. Bede's. I told the admissions director the enrollment was fraudulent, that the woman who signed had no legal custody, and that I wanted every record of my son deleted. She got very quiet and said, "We were told the mother had passed away." I had to sit down. My mother told them I was dead. She told a room full of strangers her daughter was dead so an 8-year-old could wear a blazer. I forwarded the whole thing to the school. The email chain, the deposit receipt, all of it. Then I called my mom one time. She answered like nothing happened. "Have you calmed down?" I said. "St. Bede's is refunding the deposit and blacklisting the application. And you're done with Wednesdays. You're done with pickups. You don't get him unsupervised again." She said, "You can't keep him from his grandmother." I said, "You told them I was dead. Sit with that." She started crying, saying I was tearing the family apart over a misunderstanding, that she only ever wanted the best for him. I said, "You wanted to be his mother. You already had your turn." She said, "You'll regret this. He deserves better than what you can give him." I said, "He deserves a grandmother who doesn't bury me to get her way. Lose my number until you can apologize to my face." Danny went back to his school Monday. His teacher had saved his seat and his little coat hook with his name on it. He didn't even know he'd been gone. My mother has called 11 times.